I think there's parts of the Castro that are always going to stay the same. I think it's a place where people come to celebrate and to protest and to be who they are. But at the same time, things are going to change, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad.
Well, the neighborhood is a symbol of gay freedom known around the world. But like the city of San Francisco, the Castro has been changing, and it's changing again. As we continue our Pride Month coverage, we're going to focus on the neighborhood at the center of the festivities.
KPIX5's Wilson Walker looks at the evolving Castro through the eyes of someone who saw it all happen.
But if you look, you just see a whole different thing from what the 80s were. And it was kind of a leftover of the hippies. They even have a Volkswagen in this picture.
In the small plaza that honors Harvey Milk, Harry Edward Bro can look back on the time when his search for a home landed him in San Francisco, and he knew what was unfolding in this neighborhood would change everything.
And let them understand that what our civil rights are.
I mean, you can go anywhere in the world, literally anywhere in the world, and talk about the Castro and San Francisco, and they know what you're talking about.
I have to be there to open up for the dialogue for this.
Almost as quickly as the neighborhood became a global symbol, tragedy followed, an assassination and an epidemic.
There's no way to describe that change that happened during the 80s.
It must be odd, to have the neighborhood literally change out from underneath you. It still is an LGBTQ neighborhood, right? But it's not necessarily for the people that live in this neighborhood, it's the people that come to this neighborhood.
Brian Springfield is leading the effort to redesign Harvey Milk Plaza into a space that honors the legacy and better connects with the site's role as a community gathering space. And that is one thing that has not changed in the past 50 years.
And I think you are seeing the Castro becoming more gentrified, more mixed than it was before.
This neighborhood is changing, and sometimes things can change more than is good,
All the change is an endless source of conversation and often debate, but there are also countless efforts to keep this neighborhood connected to its past. The Castro is itself history.
Now, a lot of LGBTQ people that come to the Castro don't necessarily live here, but they still consider it their home and their safe space, be their authentic selves, and that's what we need because there's work to be done.
I kind of see it, it's like I'm not opposed to straight people, but I do feel a sadness in seeing more and more heterosexual couples come in and become gentrification of the Castro. But also I realize that gay people don't have to come here anymore because of what we did in the 70s. It was big. It was major.
Harry likes to stop puzzled-looking tourists and answer questions about this neighborhood's incredible history. And as for its future,
it's going to be what it is. Just like that's what it was then. It was what it is. It wasn't that in the 60s. There was a moment in time, one moment in time, where we got together. We said no more of what was. We're only going to have what is and what's going to be.
if you want to learn a little bit more about what they're doing at Market and Castro, the area is outfitted with QR codes, so just grab your phone, come by, and you can see the latest vision for what they would like to do at this plaza. We are here in San Francisco. Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.